the executive director at Manny and one of the co-owners and developers. And we want, on behalf of Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation and Urban Builders Collaborative and Manny, I would like to welcome and thank everyone for being here today. We have a really long program, so I'm going to try not to talk too much, even though I always talk too much. But I guess I wanted to take a minute before, diving in and having people who were so instrumental in making this happen each say a few words. I really want to take a moment, and I want us to remember, I think it's imperative that we remember who we are, where we are, and why we are here. Where this building now stands was formerly a public work facility and city-owned land. It was contaminated soil, known as a brownfield, which comes with a lot of money, so it's clean, and it helped build it. And we're really happy that what is built in its place is safe residence, safe building for the occupants, the children next door, and the community residents surrounding us. Manny and Cypress Hills LDC came together after working for years to impact the rezoning the Mayor de Blasio administration started, and to ensure that what was built on this site was representative of and for the residents of East New York, Brooklyn. And I can really say with pride that I think we have achieved that. We have created a place where current residents of East New York can embrace, attend, and participate, and where over 130 current East New York residents will actually reside, together with extremely low, formerly homeless, low and moderate income individuals and families. Chestnut Commons Apartments was designed and built on this premise for East New York, not for someone else. There are many people to thank, and I'm not going to try to name everyone because, as you know, folks who know me, I will leave someone out, offend someone, say their name wrong, all of those things. But we could not have done it with probably every single person in this room and a whole bunch of people that couldn't make it here today. Basically, I'm just going to categorize all of you so that and again, I'm probably still going to forget some. But we have our public agencies here, HPD, HDC, Brooklyn Community Board 5. We have our financing partners in Bank of America, New York State Department with the Brownfield credits. We also have NYSERDA. We have a fabulous array of elected officials. And they're all going to speak, so I'm going to not announce them now because we'll announce them as they speak. And then we have, of course, our partners who will also speak. Michelle Neugebauer, the Executive Director of Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation, and she'll tell you more about the community center in which we're standing. Our architects are here from Datner Architects, a whole array, which they've been tirelessly working to make sure this building is as beautiful as it is. We have our general contractor, and I couldn't have asked for a better partner in Latier Construction, who treated this building like they treat their own and went above and beyond even what the architect expects sometimes. So, big secret. Okay. Our attorneys, more attorneys than anyone else. No, I'm kidding. Okay. We had our construction managers that really helped represent Cypress Hills, Manny, and UBC during the construction and design process. Our financing consultants who ran the numbers over and over to make sure that the people of East New York would be eligible for homes in this building. And then we have some really unique things, which I won't dwell on right now, but we have all of these environmental consultants, Bright Power, Rue Environmental, Zero Waste, Foodprint Group. We have internet, free internet for everyone, the Community Facility Center, the residents, every single resident of this building with Starry, another partner, and we have a farm on the 14th floor that will be working together with East New York Farms. We made a commitment to house more than the minimum 10% formerly homeless set aside. We have 20% of the units are set aside for people coming out of shelter. And we could only do this with our partners at Housing Plus, who are supporting them and and Cypress Hills, the programs here on the ground floor, and Housing Plus, that's really here to support them as they transition into permanent housing. And then I think that Michelle and Matt will talk a little bit about the other partners when they speak. So before we get into everyone important, I want to actually introduce one of the most important people, one of our residents who's just moved into this building. So Jasleen Garbutt is here to tell you a couple of words of what it's like to go through the process and to become a resident at Chestnut Hills Apartments. Let's welcome her.
And the little guy. Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning. So my name is Jasleen, like she said. So the process was, to be honest, pretty easy. And the staff at Minnehaha made it very, compared to other processes, the staff at Minnehaha really worked with me to make sure that I step by step, was able to get housing. They really helped me, they really supported me, even as far as, making sure that I was able to have a space for my child. And being a New York resident, as well as an East New York resident, having lived with my mother in the area, housing right now is hard to come by. And getting this for me and my son in this building, in this area, is very just heartwarming, fulfilling, and I'm so glad that I was able to get it, especially now, because my son is only 2 months old. So, having a safe space for him, a safe environment for him, a place where he can grow and flourish as a young man here in East New York is really important for me. So I'm really happy and glad that, I was able to get this apartment. So thank you.
This is Ethan, and we're building up his immune system. He's getting his shots today, so he's getting a precursor. He's 2 months old. Jasleen, thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Take your little guy. So, those are the best moments. There's no moment like meeting Jasleen and 274 more Jasleens. So I just really want to thank her for taking a moment to be with us. So we're going to start our program, and we're going to start with our Honorable Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso.
Thank you, sweetie. Good morning, Brooklyn. You guys either didn't get coffee or most of you are from Staten Island or something. I said, good morning, Brooklyn. Good morning. All right, well, I am Antonio Reynoso, and I have the privilege of being the president of the greatest borough in the city of New York, which is Brooklyn. So thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you. And I have some great talking points that my staff worked very hard on that I won't use. Because this project is something that I'm very well aware of as a city council member working alongside then council member Rafael Espinal. And I want to start off by thanking him because when this was being presented to the city council and to this neighborhood, there was a lot of pushback. There was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of political capital that was expended to make these things happen. This rezoning was something that he saw as an opportunity to give his folks a fighting chance against gentrification and to build affordable housing so Jasleen, who is from East New York, gets to stay in East New York. For the people from Cypress Hills, get to stay in Cypress Hills. That was not an easy thing to do. Trust me, I'm in those rooms and I'm in that city council chamber. He had the whole world against him, and he decided to put all the politics aside and look out for the best interests of his community. And the fruits of the labor are this type of development. These are getting built faster than anything else. Affordable housing is growing at a faster pace than any other housing outside of the rezoning because of the work that Councilmember Rafael Espinal did. So I just want to give him a round of applause and acknowledge that. So I wanted to start there. The next thing is it's housing. We're in big trouble in this city, in big trouble, especially in Brooklyn. If we don't build about 600,000 units of housing over the next 10 years, we're going to see the population in our homeless shelters increase significantly. We're talking about 80, 90 to 100,000 people in homeless shelters simply because there is no space. Forget about whether or not the space is affordable. Just the no space at all. There's no options out there right now because we're developing too slowly. But what happens is that the development happens usually on the backs of neighborhoods like these, East New York, Cypress Hills, Bushwick, these neighborhoods that have the same characteristics. They're poor, mostly black and brown districts. We need to start having a conversation about building everywhere in this city, talking about neighborhoods that have never been touched since 1964, since 1969. Those are the neighborhoods we need to bring out and say you need to be a part of the greater good. Because East New York is tired of carrying the burden of bailing us out of this housing crisis. That's what I want to make sure that we get a message across, because it is a celebration today. But we need to recognize the responsibility and the burden that East New York has decided to put on itself, to be part of the greater good, to support the rest of New York City, right here in this neighborhood. And it's because of that that I'm grateful to them. I'm grateful to this neighborhood. But I want to tell every other neighborhood that hasn't done anything to get us out of this crisis that you're on notice, because we're doing our part here. This neighborhood did its part, and that's very important. I also want to thank Manny and Cypress Hills Development Corporation for the great work that they do. Their reputation precedes them. It's very easy when somebody comes to our office and says, hey, we're working with Manny. Okay, then you're good. Because these folks have been here doing this work for a long time. So we're also not asking from people that don't live here, that haven't done work in this neighborhood, to come in and do the work for us. We have local development corporation and local organizations that have been here for decades that can do the work and have shown to this beautiful development that the work can be done by them. Kingsborough Community College, right? I'd rather tell you what's not in this building than tell you what's in this building. The amount of resources that have been brought to this community just on this one site, and we got more work to do. What this is going to look like when it's all said and done is going to be amazing. It's really going to be something special. So I just want to thank you all for being here. And to anybody that's from East New York and Cypress Hills, you're doing your part and you've done your part. And we're extremely grateful. This is a thank you. This is our gratitude to you for being a part of the greater good and contributing this way. To the council member that I've already acknowledged for the great work that you did, I'm so happy you're back in here, being able to reap the sow, I guess, what you reap. There you go, reap what you sow. I'm working on it. And then, so I hope that you saw that as a challenge, but it comes from a place of love, because we are Brooklyn. And in Brooklyn, that's what we do. We spread love. That's what we do. But we're going to give you tough love. East New York is tired of doing all the work. All right, somebody else has to step up. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Thank you to everyone, especially the folks that have contributed to making this happen. And don't forget to spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Borough President. Thank you for all those really kind words. So I want to just mention that State Senator Julia Salazar can't be with us today, but Jessica, I just wanted to acknowledge Jessica is here, her Director of Community Affairs, in the back by the front door. Thanks for coming, Jessica. We'll see more of you. I wanted to now introduce Assemblymember Eric Martin DeLand, who in fact has been here with us the whole time, and known him for very many years. And we're really, again, we could not have done this without you. And so please come up and give us a couple of words. Thank you.
So I just want to say, thanks to Ralph again for making this happen. A lot of people don't know Ralph was with me on a scoping meeting with then Commissioner Matt Wambua and Assistant Commissioner Ruth Ann Wisnowskis, and that was the vision for all of this. And, I thank them because a lot of times people can see a vision, but then can't carry it out. The fact that we are here is because of his ability as a legislator to carry things out. And at the end of the day, that's all your people care for. We could all talk about housing until we're blue in the face. I think our people know the housing crisis, but until they have a unit, the talk really doesn't mean anything to them. So a lot of that is a credit to you and a credit to the team, that put it together for, Michelle Neugebauer and all of Cypress Hills LDC. Thank you. For Nick Lataire, and a lot of people say working with real estate is bad. I don't know how you work with real estate or don't work with real estate and get a project like this. So it's mission-driven developers like you, Nick, that have the community first, that have the community problems and issues first, are the kind of developers that we need to see to help build us out of this housing crisis, because you care about people before profits, and that's commendable to you, and my community will benefit for a long time because of your work. And I would say, to the current borough president, to the current council member, this was an upzoning. It was tough to do. But when you stick to your guns and you say we're not going to upzone unless it's truly affordable to all of our people, then we won't upzone. It's that simple. And that's what Ralph did. That's all he really did, said I'm not going to do it. And he held de Blasio to account. And it worked. And not only this project, there'll be hundreds of other projects that, people can benefit from. And, I'm just very, very proud. And the only thing I would say in closing is that we need more. So let's get it done. Thank you very much. And I forgot to thank Manny.
Thank you. Okay, so now we've heard a lot about Councilman Espinal, and we have he will speak, so don't worry. But we have a new councilwoman who is here with us today, Sandy Nurse. And so after all the accolades, I guess she's got some pretty big shoes to fill, but I have no doubt that it's going to be a great run. So Councilwoman Sandy Nurse, please.
Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Sandy, new council member, 10 months in. Just want to start off by saying I had nothing to do with this project. But I'm very, very, it's exciting that we get to benefit from this and from the work that you did, Espinal. And I want to thank you for before I even got sworn in, sitting down with me and giving me deeper context and details into what you had to go through and the things you negotiated. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. But this has been a great project. I got sworn in January, and then immediately we were getting people in the lottery, and it was such a good thing to be able to offer right away to so many people who walk through our door who just need housing immediately, who are living in absolutely horrendous situations that are gut-wrenching, and it's so many in this area. So this is a great addition, and I'm excited to see also across the street a great addition. So this is great, and I just came from I got my boots on because I just came from a groundbreaking at the park, at Callahan Kelly Park. So all of this stuff that you negotiated is coming to fruition, and it's kind of nice to be able to go and take the picture. But but I'm excited to continue to build on that and advance the work that you all put in, and you as well, Antonio. So thank you. And I just want to say it's been such a pleasure to really get to work very closely with Michelle and Cypress Hills and Yasmini. Our women in our community have really been holding it down and holding the line, and it's really great. I really admire your fight and the mission, and I'm just really grateful to be in partnership with both of you on this project and many other projects we've already negotiated. So this is great. And I won't take up much space because I know there's a long list of electeds and people that need to speak, but I'm just really excited. I'm really, really, really grateful that the Brooklyn Cooperative Credit Union will be here. Been banking with them for like 10 years, opened many nonprofits with them, and this is the kind of banking and financing institution we need in this community that has a mission, also run by a woman, to really invest in our community and not extract from our community, not prey on our community, but really be available to finance projects. And so I'm really excited about you all being here. So that's it. That's all I have to say. Just thank you, and thank you so much for this and for your work, Raphael.
Okay, Councilmember Raphael Espinal, come on up.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm a little emotional, so I know everyone hyped me up, but I mean, first and foremost, I just want to say that one of the last conversations I had with former Mayor De Blasio, he pretty much lied to me. He said I'd be cutting all the ribbons at the end of the rezoning, but obviously it's another council member. I'm really proud of the work that we were able to accomplish. I would start off by saying that I am a Cypress Hills kid. I was born and raised here. I still live 2 blocks away. Live in the same house. I'm probably the ghost of that house. Probably will be the ghost of Cypress Hills one day. But I remember being a kid, and my parents would pack us into a car, and we would drive out to Ozone Park to go to Pathmark, because in the neighborhood there aren't any good supermarkets. It was just a better place just to get your food. And we would drive back down Atlantic Avenue and pass by this empty lot, and pass by the empty lot where there now is a school. And it would always have a sign, "This is coming," or "This is happening." And the mayors of the past never really followed through on those promises. And of course, there was a lot of energy that went into making this happen. But it was an important project because not only was it a way to kind of give back to a community that for so long has been underinvested in, but it's also an opportunity to see the young kids who are living here now be able to drive through here and make use of all of the great resources that were in these empty lots when I was a child. So I would say that's what I'm most excited about, just seeing the baby up here earlier, to learn that his mom feels that he has a fighting chance of being an upstanding citizen, just really, really touches my heart to the core. So I want to congratulate her. I want to congratulate Cypress Hills Local Development. I want to congratulate Manny. I want to congratulate the developers as well. We've had many conversations around this. I envisioned everything that's on this picture and what's in this building, actually, from the green roofs to Kingsborough Community College being here. You guys really, really made it all happen. There's not one thing that was left out that we've dreamt of from day one. So congratulations to all of you. I just want to thank my colleagues, or former colleagues in government, who were there with me from day one. Dan, I think you were there, right? Yeah. And honestly, this is probably the only rezoning that Reynoso and Jamani Williams and everyone else voted for. And it was because of that work that we put into, here in the community to ensure that we were really dealing with the social economic issues that the community was facing, and ensuring that we were building a very inclusive and affordable community for the people who live here and for those who are looking for that affordable apartment to be able to come here as well. So I also want to thank Eric Delan, who from day one as well, as I started as a council member, gave me the advice of how to manage all of these rezonings and these conversations. I want to thank Lloyd Lesperance, my former chief of staff, who's here. Behind every great elected official, there's a great staff. And he was really the quarterback behind this, making sure that Manny and Cypress Hills and the developers were getting all the funding they needed to get this done. So thank you all, and congratulations. I'm proud to be a Cypress Hills resident.
So Councilman, you are going to stay and cut the ribbon. Sandy's gonna let you stay. So, all right, I can't speak for the park, but you're here, all right. Well, again, we have another partner, and again, he wasn't here when this started, but he's been in government for a long time, and he is not in the Bronx today. But we're really, really happy he's adopted us and Brooklyn wholeheartedly, and he's been so supportive of Manny and Cypress Hills in our work, both that he adopted and work that we're doing together currently. So I'd like to introduce the Housing Commissioner from the New York City Department of Housing Preservation and Development, Adolfo Carrion Jr.
Thank you, Smini. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Smini. Good morning, everybody. I am super delighted to be here. Like Sandy Nurse, I'm along for the ride. I wasn't here when it happened. I didn't see the ugly sausage making that had to occur, but we know how it works, right, Ed Towns, former Congress member? Give him a round of applause. Your former Congress member, Ed Towns, is here. Love that man, love that family, for your dedicated service to our city and our country. I never heard a council member refer to himself as a ghost. So we know that Rafael Espinal no es un fantasma. He's not a ghost. He's the real deal. And it takes a lot of effort, a lot of arm twisting, a lot of negotiating, a lot of convincing and cajoling, and at the executive level, at the local level, with the community board, with the immediate neighborhood, that's ultimately the host community, to get things done. And so, congratulations, Rafael. Congratulations to your borough president. I disagree with him about the best borough in the city. Just kidding, just kidding. Oh, come on. I brought my passport from the mainland United States, the only borough that's attached to the mainland. And I'm so glad to be here. I will tell you this, though, I have an admission to make. As commissioner, I have spent more time in Brooklyn in my 7.5 months, close to 8 months, than any other borough. So we're here, we're investing here. This is the kind of product, this is the kind of outcome that we're looking for. A holistic approach, and you're gonna hear Dan, my colleague, who's the chairman and the head of city planning here in New York City, talk a little bit about what was suggested earlier, Ismini, which is the city of yes. The city of yes, which the mayor is advancing, where I think the borough president put a challenge before us, which we all have to answer, which is we need affordable housing. We need housing for all incomes across the entire city. And that charge is being led by Dan Garodnik, and we're working very closely. Our staffs are working very closely. I just want to say this. You know, this is the best investment we could make, Ismini. This is it. And Nick, when we said hello, Nick grabbed me and said, "Are you getting your team together? Are you doing, you know, do you have what you need so we can keep producing this kind of product?" And I said, we're fighting for it. We're looking to increase salaries. We're hiring people because we need to produce the housing. We're living in a dire crisis of affordability. Our kids are sometimes taking the option of leaving New York City because they can't afford to live here. So they go to college, they graduate, and they leave. And we can't afford to do that as a city. So this is the kind of holistic investment to all the partners. And, you know, just to poke a little bit more today, because I'm having too much fun with it, and I know it's going to upset you, the president of Kingsborough Community College is from the Bronx. But we are all in this together, my friends. The fact that Kingsborough is here, the fact that there is this beautiful working kitchen, the fact that you have arts and music and technology, all the vision of the vision of Ghost Espinal, to make this happen. So to all the partners, to the LDC, everybody, Datner, give a round of applause to Datner. Look at this space, phenomenal. We want to continue partnering with you. We are here to roll up our sleeves and work together to do this over and over and over in every part of the city. Congratulations.
Okay. So I think now we're going to introduce the president of Kingsborough Community College, another Bronx girl, like the housing commissioner said, Claudia Schrader. Please welcome her. She is such a critical part of what we're trying to build here.
I used to work in East New York, so that counts. Good morning. I'm honored to stand before you to help mark this special occasion. It is a special day for East New York and Cypress Hills. It's a special day for Community 5 Board residents. It's a special day for residents who will occupy this building. And it's a special day for Kingsborough Community College, because we will occupy 2 classrooms and afford all who call this community home the pathway to higher education. Today, we plant the CUNY flag in East New York, Cypress Hills. It is a flag that has flown since 1847 with the establishment of City College, and with the belief that education of free people is the hope of humanity. Thank you for the opportunity to advance our CUNY mission. I want to thank the leadership of MANI, Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation, who partnered with Urban Builders Collaborative, Latire Construction, and thank you especially to our elected officials for your support. Borough President Reynoso, Senator Salazar, Assemblyman Dillon, Councilwoman Nurse, former Councilman Espinal, Housing Officer Jessica Katz, Commissioners Carrion, Garanik, and many others of you here. And a very, very special thank you to Michelle. Today I wear green to honor our partnership. As Brooklyn's only community college and one of the finalists for the top 10 for the prize for the best community college in, not New York, in the United States, we're in the top 10. This satellite location is an extension of our main campus in Manhattan Beach. We have Ms. Angela King, who will serve as our program coordinator. If you can please stand, Angela, so everyone can see you. And she will be instrumental in supporting current and prospective KCC students. Also, as part of this network, the college will continue to bridge and coordinate relationships with our local CBOs and educational centers, including this site. We thank Chancellor Dr. Felix Matos Rodriguez for his unwavering support throughout this process and project. I especially want to thank and recognize, and I'll ask them to stand, Vice Presidents Dr. Simone Rodriguez, Vice President Ed Rios, and Vice President Cheryl Todman, for ensuring this project was a success from beginning to end. Now at Kingsborough Community College, our motto is dreams begin here. And today we can say that dreams begin here at Chestnut Commons too. On behalf of the faculty and staff, please accept our appreciation for your partnership and your support of our newest satellite location. Now we know that Brooklyn is always in the house, but today you can tell a friend to tell a friend that Kingsborough is in the Chestnut Commons house too. Thank you.
Thank you, President Schrader. And again, I think people have referred to former councilman and current Department of City Planning Commissioner Dan Garodnick. He was in fact instrumental. He's been a partner with us on many endeavors, and we're really happy to have you here today. Welcome.
Thank you, Ismini, and good morning, everybody. I am so happy to be here for this celebration of Rafael Espinal. This is a great day for the city. We're really excited. But in all seriousness, this building comes to be after a long process, and it was a complicated process, and you heard about it, and it involved a rezoning. And I will note that we are really excited about the creation of housing, particularly affordable housing, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, based on the Borough President's remarks. But we also are excited that this was part of a neighborhood plan which, will be in this building is steps away from, a new 1,000-seat school and the recently renovated City Line Park. It means street improvements along Atlantic Avenue, ones that are aimed at slowing traffic and making the avenue safer for pedestrians, cyclists, and everybody. So this is part of a bigger picture, which I think is really important. And true congratulations, and I'm joking at the top, but what the former council member went through is difficult. And I served in the city council with a number of these gentlemen here, Reynoso, Dillon, and Espinal, and of course I served when the Commissioner of Housing, Adolfo Carrion, was the Bronx Borough President, and we saw how difficult it is to say yes to anything. So real credit belongs here, and we need it because, as the Borough President cited, we are in the middle of a housing crisis. We're in a housing crisis in Brooklyn. We're in a housing crisis everywhere. In the last 40 years in New York City, our population grew by 1.7 million people, and we created housing at half the rate that we had created it in the prior 40 years when we actually lost population. New Yorkers are increasingly rent burdened. New Yorkers are constantly under the threat of an eviction. They're paying too much in rent. There's too much homelessness. This is all related to the problems that the Borough President cited about the lack of housing supply. And we need to do more. And as he said, not just here. We need to do it everywhere. And this is a prime and central mission of this administration, to find ways to create new units of housing in every corner of the city at all levels. And I will note there are opportunities. There are opportunities right now. The City Council this week, a subcommittee is going to vote on a handful of units, 300 units in Throgs Neck in the Bronx. We're talking a lot about the Bronx today, Mr. President. In a community that has created only 58 units of affordable housing over the last 10 years. This deserves to be a yes. The City Council will be considering a proposal that's already passed through the City Planning Commission, which will create 2,800 units of housing, 700 of them affordable in Astoria, Queens. This too deserves to be a yes. So we are thinking about ways to increase the supply of housing in New York City in all corners, and we are advancing citywide initiatives that will enable, through zoning text, the flexibility to create more units in the ways that are currently inhibited or not allowed in one way or another in our zoning resolution today. The mayor's City of Yes initiatives relate to housing, they relate to economic growth and economic recovery, and they relate to sustainability, and they are all coming down the pike. But today is a day of celebration. Congratulations to all of you, to the residents here, to this community, Councilmember Espinal, and all of our colleagues in government. This is really a wonderful day for all of you. Manny, Cypress Hills, Kingsborough Community College, the development team. Congratulations to all of you. Really, really exciting. Congrats.
Thank you, Dan. And as I mentioned earlier, we really stepped up and, made a commitment to housing people who currently or until they moved in here, and actually our first move-ins were people coming out of shelter, families coming out of shelter. And again, we cannot do this with the support to make this transition good for them, good for the rest of the building, good for the community. And so I welcome Housing Plus. Rita's here to share some words with us. Thank you, Rita.
Good morning. I'm a 9-time New York City marathoner. This has been a marathon you've all been on. So congratulations on winning the marathon. I hope to do a 10th one sometime. But I'm reminded, and I'm not going to talk too much about Housing Plus, and I don't say anything about Housing Plus at all, actually, because we have a lot of staff here. Annie's here, Joyce is here, Cassandra's here, Robert's here from Housing Plus, and they can tell you what we do and why we do it and why we're so thrilled to be part of this project. But I want to say, Nora Ephron, in a speech to Wellesley College in 1996, she said, here's what she said. She said, break the rules and make a little trouble. That's what we've been doing here, breaking the rules and making a little trouble. But she said, do it on behalf of women, children, families, fill in the spot. So I think let's just keep breaking the rules and making a little trouble. That's how it happens. And I just want to say a special shout out to Michelle and as many. One time my mother said, Rita, why are you being so difficult? And I thought that was a compliment. And it is a compliment. So I say to Esmeni and to Michelle, thanks for being difficult women, because you really made it happen. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you all who made it happen. And we'll see you around the block.
Bravo.
Rita, you totally downplayed how important you are in this project, so I just really want you to know we know. We look forward to it. All right, we're almost done, but I cannot, we're not going to finish up until we have a couple of words from Michelle, the Executive Director at Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation, who's been a phenomenal partner. Manny and Cypress Hills made a commitment a long time ago to work together, and Michelle and I have worked together for a very long time, and bringing this together and being partners and co-owners, I'm so proud to be her partner. And Michelle.
Me too. Yeah. Anybody who knows this meeting knows she's a force of nature and really knows how to close a deal and knows how to get to the finish line. And to my other partner, Matt, Urban Builders Collaborative, we could not have had a better team of hardworking, dedicated people. Latia, Nick, Gabby, everybody that worked on the site, really driving this project to the finish line, to this beautiful building. Our long dreamed of community center. Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation is going to be 40 years, I wish I was going to be 40 years old, 40 years old next year. And I think for almost all of that time, we have dreamed of having a space of our own, where we weren't accountable, we weren't being pushed around by school custodians and other forces, that we could envision a place where young people could come and feel comfortable, that it was their own, where they weren't criminalized, that they could aspire to higher education, where whole families could come and get the services they need, where they could really advance educationally, economically. That's what this community center is all about. It's about advancement. It's about activism and mobilization. It's about the Cypress Hills and East New York community moving forward. So this is like a really special moment for our organization. And on top of the incredible amount of financing that went into the project, we had to raise another $4 million for the build out and the FF&E and the IT and AV. And we were able to do that by some very generous major donors, and I just want to acknowledge them: the Harry and Jeanette Weinberg Foundation, Pinkerton Foundation, and Bank of America. And a special shout out to B of A. Bank of America, 18 years ago, selected Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation as an inaugural class of neighborhood builders. So they built up our capacity to do community development, to do human services, and it really took us to like new heights and new scale. And ever since then, they've been investing in East New York. They opened a branch in Gateway, and they were the ones who closed that fundraising gap that enabled us to raise the $4.2 million for this amazing Cypress Hills East New York Community Center. So let's hear it for Bank of America. And I also want to thank our all-star, and this starts my baseball analogies, all-star, I'm a very hurting Mets fan right now, our all-star team of local elected officials who secured the discretionary grants, the capital investments that were really made this possible. So very, very appreciative of our former borough president, Eric Adams, who contributed Reso A money to the project, our current borough president, Antonio Reynoso, who really supports community, is always asking every project we come before him with, where's the community facility, where's the affordable retail, really believes housing is just not housing, it needs the services integrated into it. I want to acknowledge she couldn't be here today. She's in Puerto Rico, Congresswoman Nydia Velazquez, who helped us through an earmark to expand our small business services here at the community center and do more benefits enrollment. State Senator Julia Salazar, who found money somehow in the state budget for increasing college access services and emergency food distribution. Assembly member Eric Martin Delan, who's been with us for a very long time, super supportive, who is giving grants now to expand the youth services here at the community center, and Councilmember Sandy Nurse, who gave us some startup money in this year's expense budget. I also want to thank, she's not here today, former council member Dharma Diaz, who obtained a lot of discretionary money for the community kitchen, where we're helping small home-based businesses expand into their own storefronts, expand their culinary businesses, and teach culinary skills. And lastly, former council member Rafael Espinal, you really knocked it out of the park, even though you are a Yankees fan, securing $2 million in funding for both the residential part of the project and our beautiful new community center. Thank you, thank you, thank you, our all-star cast of elected officials. Let's hear it for them. We have a lot of community partners that I want to recognize. Again, President Schrader, Kingsborough Community College. We need a college in this neighborhood. We've needed one for a long time. Now young people can see right in front of them what it means to obtain a college degree. And we're going to work on that shuttle bus. We're going to do the first year here. We're going to go down to Kingsborough. We're going to get many, many associates and bachelor's degrees in this community because you had the vision to invest in this project. So thank you, Kingsborough. Thank you, Brooklyn Cooperative Credit Union. See you in here. We look forward to working with you on financial education, on getting a lot of money out of the door for small business expansion, for home ownership, for new not-for-profits coming up in the neighborhood. And then want to thank all the other community partners that are involved in the Cypress Hills East New York Community Center, Brooklyn Conservatory of Music. We're going to hear beautiful music, bands playing, senior chorus, preschool music, that's all coming. Cypress Hills East New York Coalition, Alberto Ramos is here. We're thrilled to partner with you on all the work that you've done over the pandemic to feed hungry people in this neighborhood. We look forward to working with you. The community center, collective fair, wow, you guys gotta meet their CEO, Latoya. Talk about his meaning being a force of nature. I don't think this woman ever sleeps. They're an incredible organization bringing fresh, healthy food to all of East Brooklyn. Want to recognize them as well as Housing Plus, our partners, Rita, Robert, who are supporting the formerly homeless families. Hot Bread Kitchen is teaching culinary classes. Perscolis is giving advanced IT training. I think I've acknowledged all our community partners, but we're open to new partnerships if anybody's here that wants to suggest something. Also want to appreciate our attorneys, Hershon Singer and Brooklyn Legal Services Corp. A, that negotiated all the subleases at the community center. The commanding officer of the 7-5 precinct is here, Inspector Griffith, with his new promotion. So we want to thank him for coming. And working with us towards truly restorative justice in the neighborhood. And then just lastly, and this is really lastly, want to acknowledge all the board and staff of Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation, Board President Michael Laws, the staff in the green shirts. They're going to be giving you the tours later. They are truly the activists, the visionaries, the organizers who are the heart and soul of our organization and this project, and I love them very much. And now I'm going to introduce Matt Gross, the CEO of, is that your title, Matt? CEO, Executive Director of Urban Builders Collaborative, a really smart, hardworking guy that I refer to before. Oh my God, I forgot to acknowledge our community development team that actually work on a daily basis for this project. So former community development directors, Shai Laros, Stephanie Becker, current CD director, Jessica Bartolini, and then our senior project managers, Teg, and a man who lived and breathed this project for 2 years, Matt Becker. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Michelle and Ismini. So my name is Matt Gross. I'm with Urban Builders Collaborative, and that's the real estate development affiliate of Latier Construction. So I just want to give a shout to Nick Latier to build this during what we just went through in the pandemic. We actually started construction in January of 2020. And to finish this on time and on budget is just unbelievable. It's a testament to the commitment that Nick has and his team, some who are here today, Tony Lorenzo, and Nick's daughter also, Gabrielle, one of the Cypress Hills Director of Development that Michelle mentioned is also my sister, Shai, who was part of this when we made the RFP submission. And it's really been somewhat of a family affair. We've known as Meanie for years, and shout out to Bertha and everybody who, you know, really has allowed us at Urban Builders and Latier to support the mission of Manny and Cypress Hills. And our partners at HPD understand that the term sheets aren't a one-size-fits-all. And that's why we have what we do today, which is this deeply affordable, and it's outside the box. So I really just want to thank you for the opportunity to support the mission as a co-developer, and thank you everybody for coming out today. That's all I got.
Okay, that's our team. That's a big team. We're going to cut the ribbon now. We also, you're in the community center. So I don't know how many of you have actually been to the entrance of the residential building, which is around the corner at 110 Dinsmore Place. So we would love it if people are interested after the ribbon. Well, is it raining? We wanted to do the ribbon cutting in front of the residential entrance. So if people are up for it, you can come back and get more snacks. But we could go around the corner and set the ribbon up and cut it in front of the residential entrance. Michelle and Cypress Hills will be having another opening celebration October 19th. So you can all come back. But I think we wanted to have the celebration in the residential building, but the weather did not cooperate. So we would love you to see that. We have a beautifully designed second floor patio that you can visit. We can show you a few apartments. So if people would like to take a moment, go put your coats on, go around the corner, we'll set up for the ribbon cutting, and then you're welcome to come inside the residential building and take a peek of what all of your hard work has brought to fruition.